Okay. Try to make this not sound like a rant, is what I'm going to try to do, even though it kind of is, but it isn't. I find that if I post something on social media about what I do, there's always that person that immediately wants to follow up with, this is why I don't do it. And I know some to a limitation that's normal. But what I don't like is the fact that there's always somebody ready to jump the gun. There's always somebody ready to prove you wrong. There's always somebody ready to say, well, Dr. So and so doesn't do this, so why are you doing it? Or that doesn't fit on a ketogenic diet. Or this you shouldn't be eating, or that you shouldn't be eating. What I don't understand is I don't understand how we can sit around and try to tell each other exactly what to do. I like Fairlife milk. I posted on the carnivore group that if you're going to buy Fairlife milk from the store, this has very low sugar. It's not going to affect you that much at all. It's whole milk. It's got great fat and protein in it. And it's not low fat, it's 8 grams per serving. You might see up to 12 to 14 grams on regular milk, but this is really low sugar milk. So I'm sure in the process of pulling some of that sugar out to make it healthier for us, they pull some of the fat as well. They're probably trying to get to a point to where they really filter it out, but make sure they leave really good quality ingredients in here, right? So my understanding is that if I like this and it fits with me and it's a whole food, it's processed, but it's a whole food, to me it is anyway. I don't care what Dr. So and so does. I don't care what the next person does. I don't care what the carnivore or the keto diet fits. If this is an animal product and I want it on my carnivore diet, I'm going to have it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I lay my head on my pillow and I'm the one that's put myself to sleep. It's not you. It's not somebody else. I don't understand why we need to make sure that we 100% follow the next person. Are you a follower or are you a leader in your life? I don't follow nobody. I'm never going to 100% follow somebody to the T in what they do. And if you're that kind of person in your life, you might be pretty dogmatic to somebody and not even realize it whenever they don't do something that you do. So, with that being said, I'm encountering posts and people saying, I posted this on Facebook. Somebody popped up and said it's low fat, protein ratios aren't correct, and everything else like that. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you think. This is a good quality milk for people that want to have it. It's low sugar. It almost has no effect on you at all, especially if you don't abuse it. And even if you do abuse it, it's probably still not going to do anything to you in the retrospect of drinking the whole entire thing. Sure, but if you had a couple cups of it, it's not going to do anything to you. So, what I don't understand is why, because I do something, you have to assert yourself into my life, leave an open ended statement, and say, this is why I don't do it. But explain nothing about it, not why you don't do it, not explain why you think that's low fat or low protein. Why? Because it's been processed, it's not good enough for you, and you need to make it known to the rest of the world that it's not good enough for you so maybe other people can see it and see your comment and say, okay, because that person said it's not good enough for them, I'm not going to do it. It doesn't work that way. People aren't going to follow that. If you want to have it, have it. If it fits in your diet, let it fit in your diet. Just make sure it's a good, clean, quality food. There are so many keto and carnivore people that are so crazy with this stuff, man. It's ridiculous. And it makes me think more and more about how I used to be. It just makes me think more and more that I'm like, man, you were that guy. Going through this, financial hardship that I went through and having to eat lower quality foods and being able to sustain the weight and not gain it back has made me open up to a completely different understanding of real life situations. You weren't dealing with the financial stuff at the time, so obviously you were trying to put the best quality stuff in your mouth that you could possibly afford, which was probably better than most other people. But when you start having to deal with pinching every penny and trying to make ends meet, living paycheck to paycheck, putting things off to make ends meet somewhere else and then having to catch back up on what you put off and probably putting something else off in the meantime so you can catch back up on what you put off before. You start making choices that you normally wouldn't make, but you try to make the best choices that you make. So, where in that equation does what you do in your life mean that I should be doing that in my life? We need to quit following and start leading our own lives, our own journeys, making our own decisions, reading our own labels instead of somebody else having to do this. We need to stop going on the different keto groups and stuff saying, hey, can you tell me what's in this product? Go find out. Go Google that stuff yourself. Why are you going to run to somebody else and say, can you do the research for me because I can't do it myself? Why is it whenever somebody posts a picture of something that they like to have in their life or eat in their life, some of us are the first people to jump on board and say, I would never have that. Oh my God, I would never have that. It's filtered and it doesn't have 60,000 grams of fat in it. And the protein ratios aren't right and everything else. It has no junk in it. It's not like I'm going to the store and I'm buying something that's full of sugar and syrups and everything else. It's freaking pasteurized milk. Seriously, people. Why do we have to follow so much? We follow so much and we don't live our own lives. We wait for everybody else to guide us like a duck, and we're just the little ducklings behind it just through our life. Well, I'm going to follow. We're all going to follow, waddle back and forth and follow. Make your choices. And just because you have something to say doesn't always mean that you should say it. If you don't want pasteurized milk, then don't drink pasteurized milk. Why is it everybody else's why does everybody else have to hear what you don't do because you don't agree with something that somebody posts? Following. We need to stop being followers and start living our own lives, making our own decisions, but making sure that we understand and have the education and the process of doing it. Just because Dr. Berg does something doesn't mean I agree with it. It doesn't even mean that I'm going to do it. It doesn't even mean that I'm going to recommend it to other people, or Dr. Barry, or Dr. Paul Saladino, or Dr. Sean Baker. I don't care what they do. They can do whatever they want. As long as they're teaching people, they're putting out good information, that's all I care about. Outside of that, those people make their own choices. That's not up to any of those doctors to say you're doing it wrong. You're not doing it right. No. That's up to you to make that decision, just like I make my decisions. I put my own pants on, I pay my own bills, and I make my own way through life. It ain't up to anybody else to decide what I do or I do not do. So just remember, are you a follower or are you a leader? I'm not going to follow people. And I don't want you to follow people either. I want you to make your own decisions. I want you to make your own choices and not feel bad about it. And if you do have legitimate questions and stuff and you've done the research and you can't find out the answers, reach out to people, sure. But if you've made no attempt, how dare you? You should be ashamed to go to somebody and say, tell me exactly what I could not do myself. I made no attempt to do it. I didn't make an effort to do it. I didn't even reach out to somebody where to find the information. I just went straight to somebody else and said, tell me what to do. Tell me this information because I don't know it myself. Because essentially that's what you're doing if you don't make an attempt to do it.